We are now in the final games of the 2024 NHL season, and after 6 months of incredible performances, unbelievable comebacks, and insane milestones, we still don't have a definitive MVP candidate. Usually by this point, there's a clear-cut winner of who's going to take it home, but not this year, because this season, we are watching the greatest and deepest MVP race in recent memory. The NHL Hart Trophy is awarded annually to the player adjudged to be the most valuable to his team. At the time that this video is being made, the 4 players with the best odds to win the Hart Trophy according to DraftKings is Auston Matthews, Connor McDavid, Nikita Kucherov, and Nathan Mackinnon. The way these 4 players dictate the game for their respective teams this season has been simply unmatched, especially when you take a deeper dive. Let's start with Auston Matthews, who's considered the long shot. Now, if you're a Rangers or Bruins fan, you're probably pissed as to why Matthews would be considered over Pastrnak and Panarin. And rightfully so when you consider that they have more points than Auston Matthews. But scoring goals is the hardest thing to do in the NHL. And right now, Auston Matthews has 65 goals in 76 games. He's currently tied with Ovechkin for the most goals in a season during the salary cap era, and he's chasing 70. Tactically, the Leafs' identity is their offense, and at the core of that is Auston Matthews. There are many teams in the NHL who use motion offenses and movement to create space for their best players, but Matthews' ability to read the soft spots in all defensive coverages is what makes him so crucial for the success of the Maple Leafs. The Leafs have the 3rd best offense in the NHL because of their adaptability in the O-zone. Whether teams deploy man-on-man or zone coverage against them, having a trigger man like Matthews gives the Leafs the flexibility to attack in a variety of ways. Scoring in the modern NHL is about timing your arrival into space, and Auston Matthews almost always times his arrival perfectly, and then his release separates him from the rest. Additionally, the hardest thing to do in the NHL is to score goals at even strength. Matthews is by far the leader in this category with 48 on the season, with Nathan MacKinnon being second with 38. He's just as valuable to the Leafs on the defensive side of the puck as well, with him being among the top players in the NHL for defensive metrics like stick checks, block shots, and block passes. If you look at the trophy from the perspective that goals give your team the best opportunity to win, there's no one in the business better at doing it than Auston Matthews. Statistically, he's a long shot, but scoring 70 goals is an historic individual season, and it's one that makes him belong in this conversation. Then of course you have Connor McDavid. This guy has pulled the ultimate Undertaker move and has been the main component to an unprecedented revival of the Edmonton Oilers. 5 months ago, he sat 114th in NHL scoring, with the Oilers being in the basement of the league. In mid-January, he ranked 7th in NHL scoring, being 15 points back of Mack and Kucherov. At that point, he helped Edmonton claw back into a playoff spot. Ever since, he's got 59 points in 28 games, with Edmonton in position to potentially win their division. This season, McDavid's playmaking has gone to another level. With the exception to last season, he's always had a pass-first mentality, but slight tweaks in his attack off the rush and in the O-zone has taken everyone's game to another level. Instead of using his blazing speed with every chance he gets, McDavid has slowed his attack ever so slightly, and it's opened up all kinds of opportunities for his teammates to get involved. Similar to Toronto's offense, the Oilers use a lot of motion in the offensive zone to get the puck to their best players with space. McDavid's individual skill and playmaking ability within the Oilers system has created an offensive juggernaut that contains endless options for attack. McDavid's playmaking has elevated the play of every Oiler on the ice, especially if you ask Zach Hyman. In his 2023 MVP season, McDavid scored over 60 goals. This year, he's doing it in a different way by becoming the first player to record 100 assists in a season since Wayne Gretzky did it back in '91. However, there is one other player who may just do the same, and that is Nikita Kucherov. It seems like Kucherov never truly gets the love he deserves because he's unlike any other superstar. When you think of every other player in this MVP race, you can probably think of a flashy highlight that you've seen in the last week. But Kucherov's game isn't flash more so than it is calculated brilliance. Tactically, no one can slow the game down like Kucherov. By carefully timing his speed changes and taking calculated routes to draw in defenders, he creates space for his teammates unlike anyone else. 90% of the game is played 3 feet from the wall. Kucherov's first touch ability and hockey IQ make him the best in the world in this area. It's this ability that is at the foundation of the NHL's best power play and one of the most lethal offenses in the league. When defenses see players along the wall or with their back turned to the play, it is usually the green light to pressure and force a mistake. But Kucherov is maybe the only player in the world who's actually more dangerous in what is supposed to be an extremely vulnerable position. From a numbers perspective, he currently leads the entire NHL with 136 points and is right behind McDavid with 93 assists. Kucherov currently has a 51-point lead over the next highest scoring teammate in Braden Point. That would be the highest gap in the salary cap era. He factors into 50.2% of Tampa's offense, and when he's not on the ice, they are a minus 28. Part of the definition of the Hart Trophy is the player most important to his team, and without Kucherov, the Lightning probably wouldn't even be close to the playoffs. Then finally, you got the dog Nathan Mackinnon. When it comes to visible domination, McKinnon has been that guy this season. The Avalanche are the NHL's best offense, and a large component to why is because of their speed. In this graphic alone, you can see just how dominant these two players are. McKinnon leads the NHL in zone entries and is second in rush chances for. That's because his specialty is to ramp up the pace to a level that others simply cannot match. By building speed prior to his touches on the breakout, teams struggle to keep up with Colorado off the rush. In the offensive zone, McKinnon complements Colorado's 2-3-0 zone attack perfectly. By swinging up high to find space, he's constantly getting touches in the O zone and dictating the play by having possession. The result is McKinnon being second only to Connor McDavid for O-zone possession time. He is the heartbeat for the NHL's best offense. The narrative is a compelling one too, as he's the only one yet to win a Hart Trophy in this discussion. He's been runner-up twice, most notably in 2018 when he lost to Taylor Hall as he dragged the Devils to the playoffs. He's recorded at least a point in the first 35 home games of the season, falling just 5 games short of Wayne Gretzky's home point streak record. And despite being neck and neck with Nikita Kucherov all season in points, McKinnon has been perhaps the most consistent player at even strength point production. He currently leads the NHL with 87 even strength points and is second only to Matthews in even strength goals. When you stack all 4 of these players up against each other, there's legitimate reasons why all of them could win the Hart Trophy. Every one of these players are critical to their team's success. Each individual skill set is perfectly in sync with their team's offensive systems, and it's created an arms race for scoring. As it stands right now, Nathan MacKinnon is the odds-on favorite to win the Hart. But with this being one of the best MVP races in recent memory, that may change before the season is officially over.